Hello, good afternoon to all. Let me switch to English because it would be very difficult for me doing in another language. I know this is the last one before the end, so I will try to keep it quick, direct to the topic, and let's see the questions. Up to you. So I've been working many years in the automation space, about 10 years designing networking, doing assessments for electrical distribution and many other critical infrastructures. I am from Spain, so I did it in Spain and then in Europe. And I love it sometimes to select one wire, start to collect, and then suddenly one device was there with some LEDs blinking, and I asked it, does anybody knows for what is this? And usually people say, it was there when I joined the company. So what is for? I have no idea, but I don't want to disconnect it because I don't know what is going to happen to the system. So this is the usual scenario I found everywhere. There are this kind of device in every place. And in Nozomi, we are trying to fight this. We need to have visibility. We need to understand the system if we want to protect, if we want to have a clear vision of the risk, so we can do some steps to fix it. So we have been in the market for a long journey now, more than 10 years. And we love to learn the use cases of our customers. So we go there and, OK, what is the problem? How we can help to improve your cybersecurity? So we started the journey with a passive sensor. This means you need to copy the traffic to do the analysis. OK, this is great, but maybe there are some lines that you cannot copy the traffic. So what we do now? We don't have visibility. OK, we developed the smart pooling to do active queries, to send a query, to extract the information. But this is too old. We cannot see it. We cannot protect. OK, you have visibility, but if someone connects directly to the PLC, we are not able to see if it changed the program of the PLC. So we thought a new way to approach this. What if we can convert any computer in a sensor? So we don't need to copy the traffic. We are analyzing the traffic in the computer. You cannot touch the control system. What are you doing? Wait. No one is going to allow you, because if you are using the resources, they cannot control the process. They cannot control the distribution. OK, so let's change a little bit the approach. We install the sensor. We get some samples, and we send to the Guardian to do the analysis. So we leverage the resources of the computer, but we still have this new visibility. So this approach was a little bit better for the customers. They love it. And it means that any computer in the environment can be a sensor. We can have all the visibility from the asset, all the vulnerabilities, what is going on with the USB, what is going on with the logs, but also all the PLCs in the network. We can do from the new sensor active queries. And we don't need to copy the traffic. And this is quite important, because right now we are doing a lot of projects only with Arc, because it's easier and cheaper to deploy. So you can have maybe not the 100% of the visibility, like copying the traffic, because you are seeing everything, but it's something in the middle between the 80 or the 90%. So it's quite good, this new approach, that you can add like a toolkit to detect everything in the network. So what will be the next step? Develop some sensor for the PLC. So we just launched the new sensor to install in a PLC. Right now, only for Mitsubishi, and maybe because Mitsubishi invests in our solution, but we are working because all the other vendors love the idea, and we see this like the new future for the for the market. And you can say, again, how we are going to install this? If we change the PLC, we are going to change the control system. No, these new PLCs has different CPUs, one for control the process, another one for auxiliary things. So we are able to install ARC, and there is no interaction with the process. But you can control the whole process, and is the new visibility for the layer 1, 2, Purdue, that it's quite complex these days to get visibility there. And then, again, OK, until now we have our products to get the copy of the traffic, to do everything on-prem. We have our management control to merge all the information on-prem. But then, when you started to do the deployment and electrical distribution in one country, suddenly you have millions of variables in one machine. So it's quite complex to manage on-prem. So we started to think, what if we change to the cloud? But this is a big step. No one in critical infrastructure wants to be in the cloud. So we going on thinking, OK, we'll maintain everything on-prem. So if there is no internet connection, you are still protected. But maybe if we create an uplink from the top layer management console to something in the cloud, only to send insights, we can handle it, and we can start to deploy artificial intelligence things to cluster to provide some useful insights to everything that we recollect on-prem. And we develop Vantage. So we are the only vendor in the market that you can have everything on-prem. If there is no internet connection to Vantage, you are still protected. But if you are connected, you have some enhancements. Because, to be honest, using artificial intelligence with all this information, it's really helpful. And it creates a new, different thing totally about information. So it's quite flexible. We can have Guardian Arc. I will talk later about Guardian Air. And everything handling from one point. And you can say, I don't want to have my process in the cloud. No big deal. I can select if I only use as a server lenses, or if I want to send the process, not, it's up to me. And this is also even more flexible for the deployments, because you have the license by the number of assets protected. I have 10,000 assets in a big deployment. I pay this. I install any kind of Guardian. The Guardians virtual are totally free. And then I talk about Guardian Air. Everything until now, we were talking about seeing what is in the Ethernet. But what about wireless? I talk also about the wire, but I also find that the automation companies use a lot the imagination. Also my colleagues when I was in the automation company. So we need to connect two things that are longer than 100 meters, so you cannot use a wire. OK, they call the distributor and say, hey, why not to use wireless HERT or something wireless that 200 euros you can fix it? OK, let's do it. Everyone in the factory believes there is a wire, because a wire it's outside, but it's connected a box, and the other box through the wireless. No one knows what protocol, if it is secure or not, but it's working. So we thought that there is some space to detect also this kind of devices and bring visibility to this space. But it's not also for this. There is TVs, there is keyboards, there is a lot of things over there in this space that they are not secure. Imagine the room for doing the video conferences. Okay, maybe the TV is connected through the Ethernet, and the firewall is blocking all the connectivity. But do you know if the wireless is off, if the Bluetooth is off, if someone changed the default configuration of the TV. My guess is not, but we can bet if you want, and we can check. So we launched Guardian Air into the market to see all these kind of different protocols and technologies. But what happens with things in the air? You cannot block. You cannot use a firewall. How can we do anything to the air? So we need to triangulate where is going on the attack or the threat to be able to do something. Usually send someone to block the attack. In many cases, the drone presents, it's a very use cases. For example, in some stadiums that, OK, this is not a factory, but it's a building management system. They are quite thinking if someone with a drone is doing some advertisement in a Real Madrid-Barcelona match, so it could be dangerous for us. We need to detect and then block the drone before it's doing something wrong. So now it's not usual to someone naked to run. No, they use drones. OK. Evolution. So we have been talking about the airspace, about Ethernet, about converting any computer into a sensor. So we have a lot of information now in the cloud. So now what? I need to hire 100 people to understand this. So we thought also in this problem and how to try to fix it. And we developed Vantage IQ. Because we are in the cloud, now we can use all the resources in the world to do whatever is behind this artificial intelligence, that any kind of technology is into the box of artificial intelligence. So it's a black box to do whatever. But it's artificial intelligence. So we are analyzing all the alerts, all the metrics, everything to bring insights. And what this means in real world. So imagine that someday you have 1,000 alerts. Without Vantage IQ, you need to analyze the 1,000 alerts, but probably they are from the same computer. But you need to check the 1,000, just in case. With Vantage IQ, it's going to analyze this for you and say, hey, this computer is compromised. Check it. It's analyzing also all the bandwidth incoming into the Guardians. Hey, this Guardian suddenly is not receiving any traffic, any bandwidth. Check it. So it's like the first team to detect, to understand, to help you understand what is going on in your environment. And what about ChatGPT? OK, we need to talk also about ChatGPT. We don't use ChatGPT. But we also developed something similar. OK, why not to use ChatGPT? Because sometimes it lies. So we are like obsessed to provide really accurate information. And if you use ChatGPT, maybe the answer is right, maybe not. We weren't able to get always the right answer. So we developed our own engine to help. So I don't know if you are or you know our solution. We have a system of queries similar to SQL, to ask for information or to provide information into dashboards, into reports, so you are able to see the information you want. But you need to use queries, and people doesn't like to use queries. I have a question, I need the answer. So we have a box, and you can say a question. You can learn similar questions that maybe you don't know, but could help you, and also the query to know the answer. So it's also helpful to have this kind of technology. Other problem that we try to address is about threats. So we provide threat intel with different indicator of compromises. Then you have the alert, but maybe the alert is not with a high risk, but maybe it's part of an attack. Maybe I know the alert, but I don't know the context. So we deploy what we call threat cards to have all the information about all the indicators of compromise, of if there is some kind of attack, what kind of group is behind the attack. So you have full context of the alert, and you can prevent to happen something early, because maybe they start with a little alert that only the alert, it's not enough to detect the threat. And most or almost all the threats happening in OT, IoT space came from IT. So we are really close to Mandiant. Mandiant is the leader in threat intel in the IT world. And we have a collaboration where we provide the Mandiant threat intel for all the Guardians. It means on-prem. And I am really on-prem. So you can detect any threat from the IT world and all the threats from the OT and IoT, because you have also the threat intel from the Nozomi network solution. So both mix it. It's really powerful to protect and to detect anything before it happens. And what happens about risk? I saw some of the presentation about the CVEs. This is cool, but what if I have same asset in different lines? Maybe one line is not critical, and the other line is really critical. Same asset. They should have different risk. But until now, you have a measure of the risk based on the vulnerabilities, and it was quite fixed. And we wanted to improve it. So we developed risk management. So it's a new flexible way to have risk scoring based on threats, based on vulnerabilities, but also you can configure to your own to have this information from one zone. This is critical. I want to increase all the threats or all the risk by 1 point whatever. So everything is clear. It's configurable. I can create different actions to automate things, to do not invest a lot of time configuring this. And what is more important, I have a dashboard to understand the overall risk of my system. And if I ask to my CFO, the financial guy, for money, I can say, hey, you give me money, but I increased the cybersecurity by decreasing the risk by this number last year. So it helps a lot in this kind of conversations. I talk about Vantage and artificial intelligence, and another good point is how to detect or how to catalog the different devices. So far, if we talk of analyzing the copy of the traffic, it's quite complex because you need concrete information in the payload to add the type or the name of the device. But if we have some information in the cloud and we can use artificial intelligence, we can cluster the behavior of the devices to provide this information. And this is what we launched inside Vantage, to cluster the behavior of the devices to provide more information. And this is wow. Everywhere where I test this is a wow effect. But you can see in the graph, 4,000. This is huge. And it makes a lot of difference, really, to have only on-prem, to have these insights to the cloud. But you don't have only the information into the cloud. You calculate into the cloud, but it's also synced with Guardian. Why? Because if there is no internet connection, I need to have all my information to protect the system without internet. And this is the way we are giving the steps into the next years to try to get the control of the full system and to provide new technologies, mix it and use it in a way for critical infrastructure, understanding the real needs of these kind of environments. Thank you.